Whoa. Welcome back to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nik. I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. Today, I'm going to talk about the WNBA games, the playoff games, the semifinal games. There were two, obviously, and they were very interesting. So you had the Minnesota Lynx versus the Connecticut Sun. This was a game that went back to the Connecticut Sun's home court. Third game, it's even 1-1 at this point. Game 3 of a best of 5. You had Pam Ward, Monica McNutt, and Angel Ray calling this game. It was on ESPN2, which you'd love to see that. Wish it was on ESPN, but that's all right. We're in NFL season, so they get priority. In the first quarter, the Lynx were playing very well, and they created a lead. It was 23-16 at the end of the quarter. In the second quarter, Dejanay Carrington and DeWanna Bonner were working really hard for the Sun, but the Lynx were maintaining a pretty large lead, and they were playing really great defense and having essentially like a block party on the Sun. And the end of that quarter, 48-36. At halftime, we had LaChana Robinson, Andrea Carter, Janae Awumake, and Carolyn Peck at the helm, breaking it all down. Love to see them. In the third quarter, it was more of the same, pretty much like the second quarter. That quarter ended 68-54. In the fourth quarter, Alana Smith picks up her fourth foul, which is pretty key, and then Brianna Jones picks up her fifth foul. Stephanie White does challenge it, and they win that call, but the Lynx continue this amazing amount of defense, keeping at least a 10-point lead throughout the entire game. With less than 2 minutes left, though, Alana Smith does foul out of the game during a blocking foul at the rim, and pretty much all of the fouls that she got were pretty much at the right under the basket. She was taking charges, she was getting all of the fouls. She was playing really hard defense, so can't knock her for it that she fouled out. She played really hard. The last 20 seconds of the game, they just let the time run out because they didn't want anyone to get hurt. The game ended 90-81. In the post-game wrap-up, Pam Ward accidentally called Angel Gray Angel Reese, and then Monica McNutt called her out on it, and that was pretty funny, I have to say, but that was kind of like a little cute moment they had. Oops. Let's get into this game. Breakdown of the score. So DeWanna Bonner had 16 points, 8 rebounds. Alyssa Thomas had 13 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. She was like flirting with a triple-double again. Brianna Jones had 21 points. Dejanay Carrington had 13 points. Marina Mabry had 14 points. She had a hard time hitting her threes, but she did hit a few at the end. I wish she would have hit more jumpers, but it is what it is. Minnesota Lynx, Bridget Carton had 12 points, 6 rebounds. Nafisa Collier had 26 points, 11 rebounds for a double-double. Alana Smith had a pretty quiet night. Like I said, she fouled out of the game, but she played really hard defense, had 3 blocks, 7 points. Kayla McBride had 13 points. Courtney Williams had 16 points, 8 rebounds, and that was pretty much it in terms of people making an impact, but it was enough for them to win by 9 points, and now the score is 2-1. Lynx are up, so we'll see what happens in the next game if they can win this. Really hope Connecticut Sun wins, because to be honest, the Lynx are a boring team. They're like the UConn of the WNBA. Do not really want to see them win. Now we get into the second game. Oh, looks like my notes did not update for some reason. I hate when that happens. Let's see if it'll update while I'm in here. But in the in the second game, it was the Liberty versus the Aces. This was also on ESPN right after third game. The Liberty are up 2-0 against the Aces, and Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo, and Holly Rowe are on the call, which is unfortunate for me because I do not like them. I think they're very annoying, and I'm tired of them calling games, but it is what it is. They're there. Things to note about this game that were really important is that Kia Stokes was out of the game with a concussion, which is not surprising because the last game they played against Liberty, you could tell when she hit heads with Jonquel Jones, she was out of sorts right after that happened, so not surprising that she had a concussion. Hopefully she's doing all right. She was at the game. Also, Tiffany Hayes did win 6th Player of the Year award, which is freaking crazy considering she came out of retirement to win and then get the 6th person of the award. That's crazy. 6th Player of the Year. That's wild. She's an amazing player, and she made a very big impact on this game. So the first quarter, both teams were playing really hard and fast to start the quarter. Pretty thrilling to start the game, I have to say. Lots of it, like tit for tat. They were basically going back and forth in terms of scoring points. And the Aces were playing with a sense of urgency. They're at home. They have to win this game, or it's going to be a sweep. So they were playing hard. At the end of the first quarter, it was 23-26. In the second quarter, Chelsea Gray had this killer pass to Asia Wilson. It was like this wraparound pass, freaking amazing. And then she did some crazy fancy footwork against Benijah Laney to do this layup. And then right after that, she had another great pass to Kelsey Plum. It was the old Chelsea was back, and that was so great to see. Also, during the second quarter, Leonie Fabich was playing really well. Jonquil Jones unfortunately picked up her third foul with 4 minutes left, so she had to go sit down. And then Tiffany Hayes and Alicia Clark picked up their third foul in the second quarter. So we're getting a little weird about the fouls here. Some big fouls on some key players, so I was a little worried. But it's back in fourth quarter. No one getting more than a 1 or 2 point lead. The tie changes. There were ties and lead changes like, I don't know, 24 times, well over, maybe 36 times. But it was really entertaining. And what I did notice is they shut down Sabrina Ionescu. She had no points at the half, which was wild. They did cut to the audience. Cheryl Swoops, the GOAT, the legend, was in the building, plus some other celebrities that I don't know. I don't know some of these people, but E40 was there, Floyd Mayweather, some NBA players that I don't follow. At the end of the second quarter, it was 49-52, super tight. Go to the halftime show. LaChina Robinson, Andrea Carter, Janaea Wilmake, and Carolyn Peck, of course, doing their breakdown. Love to see it. Third quarter, we go back to the game. Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young are going off. They pushed the lead up to 11 points, pretty much just them two. It was amazing. Chelsea does get a charge on Jonquil. She draws a charge, and that is Jonquil Jones' fourth foul, personal foul, and she has to sit out with 4 minutes, no, maybe 5 minutes left, 5.5 minutes left in the quarter. So she had to go sit. That's major minutes she missed. And there were a lot of missed shots in the third quarter on both sides. It was a lot of wild plays just running up and down the court. But the Aces got the deficit up to 13 points with 3 minutes left in the game. And they were locking Sabrina up, getting her to travel, making her miss shots. At one point, it was a 16-point game with 1 minute and 41 seconds left. And Liberty had to take a timeout. They were just out of sorts. They had a point where Courtney Vandersloot traveled and turned over the ball, and she thought that she got pushed, which she did. Kelsey kind of pushed her, and it didn't get called, and they called her traveling because of it, and she got so pissed about it that she got a technical. So then Kelsey Plum shoots the technical ball, and then right after she makes a jump shot, and it's a 20-point game. It's just, this is crazy. There was 8 minutes where the Liberty didn't score. Okay, they didn't score until Brianna Jones. I'm mixing up everyone's name. Brianna Stewart makes this jumper with a couple of minutes left in the game, finally to get them on the scoreboard. It is 55-73. It is one of the wildest quarters I've ever seen in a playoff game. That was just freaking crazy. We go into the fourth quarter. The Aces starting off super strong. Tiffany Hayes gets a steal, but immediately is called for a technical foul because she was taunting, which I thought was pretty funny. Sabrina ends up getting her first points from that technical. She shot the technical foul, and then Tiffany gets called for a quick touch foul right after that on Sabrina, which is kind of ridiculous. The refs are like just being a little too sensitive, but it was no bother because the Aces kept on scoring and turning the Liberty over. Sabrina does finally hit a 3-pointer with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but the Aces continue to lock up the Liberty and keep turning them over, and then eventually the Liberty empty their bench at one point and give them a rest. But then they put them back on the floor, like halfway through the quarter. It was really weird. Eventually, though, the Liberty and Vegas do empty their benches with 3 minutes left. It's 68-90 at that point. It's just crazy. And then, they only have like 1 day off to the next game. The next game is on Sunday in the morning or the afternoon. So everyone pulls their starters. They can get a break. All the bench goes out there, and the game ends 81-95. Crazy. So no one has ever come back from a 2-0 deficit in the playoffs. So the Aces made history doing that. And I kind of assumed that they would win this game. I did not think that they would lose this game, especially on a home court. Do I think they're going to win this series? Probably not. It's probably in New York's favor to win the next game, but we will see. It will be a home game, and we will see who will have the advantage there if we can push to a game 5. So really excited about that. But let's look at the box score for this game. The New York Liberty, but Brianna Stewart had 19 points, 6 rebounds. Jonquil Jones had 11 points. 6 rebounds. Lena Fibic had 10 points. Courtney Vandersteel had 9. Niara Zapoli had 8. And that was kind of it. Sabrina Nesky only had 4 points. That's crazy. They shut her down. And that is a big reason why they were able to win this game. Aces, on the other hand, Jackie Young had 25.6 rebounds. Asia Wilson had 19 points, 14 rebounds for a double-double. Kelsey Plum had 20 points. Chelsea Gray had 10 points and 7 assists. Tiffany Hayes had 11 points. It was just a really good all-around from the starters from the Aces. So really fun game, very exciting. I'm really excited about Sunday, even though it's an early morning game, like 12 o'clock game. But looking forward to this for all of the teams. It's not a sweep for anybody because these are the best of the best with honors. So it's exciting to watch, exciting basketball, and looking forward to the end. And I'll be honest, though, I really hope that Minnesota does not win. They're just so boring. I don't want them to win. I really would prefer Connecticut to win, and it would be a Connecticut versus Liberty or Connecticut versus Aces final. That would be very exciting. But we will see, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.